All right, get ready to dive into a true classic.
Ooh, I love this one.
Because today we're taking a deep dive into The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Now, we're not just going to rehash the plot.
No,
We all
no.
know and love the story.
Are you?
We're
Sure.
going deeper
Oh,
to uncover the reasons behind its enduring appeal.
I like it.
What are those elements to
Hmm.
transform it from just a charming fairy tale into
Yeah.
a film that truly resonates across generations?
It really does. And you're right.
Yeah.
There's so much more to it than meets the eye.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting to note that it actually wasn't an immediate blockbuster
It wasn't.
when it premiered in 1987.
No.
It gained a devoted following over time, captivating audiences of all ages.
It's like a slow-burning magic spell, isn't it?
It is.
And one of the first things that sets it apart
Yeah.
is the way it plays with the idea of storytelling itself. That grandfather,
Oh, yeah.
played by the wonderful Peter Falk,
Oh, whoa.
reading the story of the Princess Bride to his initially reluctant grandson, Fred Savage.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant.
Absolutely. It's that story within a story framework
Yeah.
that adds a layer of warmth
Yes.
and allows the film to cleverly poke fun at those familiar fairy tale tropes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not just a passive framing device either.
No, not at all.
You get those fantastic interruptions from the grandson, questioning those classic tropes like,
Yeah.
why does the princess always have to be beautiful?
Yeah.
It's like the movie is winking at us, the audience,
Yeah.
and letting us in on the joke.
Exactly. It creates this
Right.
this delightful meta narrative that
Yes.
invites us to engage with the story on multiple levels, making it even funnier.
Okay, so beyond the clever framing,
Okay.
why has The Princess Bride become such a phenomenon? I've got adventure, romance, sword fights.
Right. It's got it all.
What's the secret ingredient that makes it all work so well?
I'd say it's that perfect blend of witty humor
Right.
and genuine heart.
Yes.
You laugh out loud 1 minute,
Yes.
then find yourself completely invested
Yep.
in the characters' emotional journeys the next.
Yes.
You add to that unforgettable characters
Ah.
and quotable dialogue,
Yeah.
and you've got a recipe for a timeless classic.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Speaking of characters,
Yes.
each one is so distinct and memorable.
Absolutely.
I mean, where do we even begin?
Right.
Wesley and Buttercup,
Yes.
Inigo Montoya, Fezzik, Vizzini,
All of them.
even Miracle Max and Valerie are scene stealers.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Let's dive into some of these iconic personalities, shall we?
Sure. Let's start with our hero, Wesley.
Yeah.
Played with undeniable charm by Carrie Elwes.
Yeah.
He's not your typical action hero, is he?
Right. He's quick-witted,
Yeah.
a bit roguish,
Yeah.
but with a deeply romantic core.
Absolutely.
He can scale cliffs of insanity,
I know.
fight off rodents of unusual size,
Yeah.
but he's also completely devoted to Buttercup.
Yeah.
And speaking of Buttercup,
Yeah.
Robin Wright brought such warmth and sincerity to the role.
She did.
And it's fascinating to think that this was her first film role ever.
Her performance definitely resonates.
Yeah.
Because it feels so genuine,
Yes.
making Wesley's devotion all the more believable. You really buy into their love story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't talk about iconic characters
Oh, no.
without mentioning Inigo Montoya.
He's the best.
Mandy Patinkin is Inigo Montoya.
He is.
There's no separating the two.
And what's so powerful about his performance
Yeah.
is that personal layer that he brought to it.
Oh,
He
yeah.
channeled his own grief
Wow.
over the loss of his father
Wow.
into Inigo's quest for vengeance.
Right.
Giving that iconic line.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Every time.
Such raw emotional depth.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah.
It gives me chills every time.
Yeah.
But knowing that backstory makes it even more impactful.
It does.
And of course,
Yeah.
we have to talk about André the Giant as Fezzik.
Of course.
I mean, who else could have played that role?
I know, right?
His gentle nature really shines through.
That casting was truly inspired.
It was.
And, you know, even though he was dealing with serious back pain during filming,
No way.
he was so dedicated to the role.
Really?
For example, in the scene where he catches Buttercup as she's falling from the window,
Yeah.
they actually had to use wires
Oh, really?
because he couldn't physically lift her.
I did not know that movie. Magic at its finest.
It is.
It's fascinating to learn these behind-the-scenes details.
Yeah.
I always thought he just scooped her right up.
But it sounds like his gentle giant persona extended off-screen as well.
Oh, I bet.
He kept the cast and crew entertained with his stories and had, shall we say, a legendary reputation for enjoying his refreshments.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our lovable giant, but we also need a villain worthy of a classic fairy tale.
We do.
Enter Wallace Shawn.
Oh, yeah.
As Vizzini.
He's so good.
That self-proclaimed mastermind.
Oh, yes.
His arrogance.
Yes.
And that constant cry of inconceivable.
Oh, my goodness.
Never gets old.
You're so right. Shawn perfectly captures Vizzini's inflated ego, making his eventual downfall all the more satisfying.
And it's not just a simple hero-villain dynamic either.
No.
You've got this wonderful comedic duo in Miracle Max, played by the brilliant Billy Crystal, and his wife Valerie, brought to life by Carol Kane.
She's fantastic.
They add a whole other layer of humor to the film.
Their back and forth bickering.
Oh, I love it.
Is hilarious.
Yes.
They remind us that even in a world of giants and sword fights, love can be wonderfully messy and unpredictable.
So true.
That scene where he brings Westley back to life, pure comedy gold.
Have fun storming the castle.
Right.
Seriously, how can you not love them?
It's impossible.
And speaking of memorable scenes, we can't gloss over the sword fight between Westley and Inigo.
Oh, sword fight.
It's practically a masterclass in cinematic swordplay.
The dedication that went into that scene is incredible.
Oh, I bet.
Carrie Ellis and Mandy Patinkin trained extensively, performing most of their own stunts.
Well,
they were committed to making it as authentic as possible.
Wow.
And it really shows in the final product.
It's mind-blowing that they did most of that themselves.
I know.
The skill and athleticism are just phenomenal.
And it wasn't just about the physicality.
Right.
That fight scene is a culmination of both characters' journeys, their skills, and their motivations.
It all comes together.
You're on the edge of your seat.
Oh, yeah.
The entire time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But as much fun as the action and adventure are, The Princess Bride also manages to weave in some deeper themes.
And that's one of the reasons it goes beyond a simple fairy tale.
Right.
We're not just watching a series of lighthearted events unfold.
Right.
We're witnessing characters grapple with love, loss, loyalty, and even revenge.
Right. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
No.
You've got Inigo's quest for vengeance, which adds this layer of emotional weight.
Yeah.
Exploring themes of loss and justice.
Yes.
And then there's Westley. Who faces incredible dangers. Makes enormous sacrifices. Demonstrating profound love and loyalty to Buttercup.
It's that duality.
Right.
The ability to make us laugh one minute and then have us completely invested in the emotional stakes the next. That gives The Princess Bride its staying power.
It really does.
Yeah, it really highlights how it's not just a whimsical fairy tale.
No.
It's a story with real depth.
Oh, yeah.
Exploring complex emotions and motivations. Take Inigo, for example.
Okay.
His quest for vengeance isn't just about blind rage. It's about honor, family, and finding closure for a profound loss.
And you can't help but admire his determination. Even though it stems from such a painful experience.
Right.
And you mentioned earlier that Mandy Patinkin channeled his own grief into the role.
He did.
Which adds such a layer of authenticity to his performance.
Absolutely. It's that human connection, that vulnerability that makes Inigo's story so compelling.
For sure.
We see him as this skilled swordsman, but also as a man driven by a deeply personal mission.
It's interesting how the film manages to balance those heavier themes with moments of pure comedic brilliance.
Right.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
Didn't you mention some interesting trivia about the casting of Miracle Max?
Oh, yes. The role was actually originally offered to Peter Falk.
Oh, wow.
Who, as you know, played the grandfather.
Wait, really? That would have been a completely different dynamic.
Right.
Yeah.
But Falk turned it down because he felt he wasn't right for the part.
Really?
And so it went to Billy Crystal.
Oh, wow.
Who, along with Carol Kane, created this unforgettable comedic duo.
It's hard to imagine anyone else's Miracle Max now.
I know, right?
They were perfect together, that bickering chemistry.
They were.
Mostly dead, will forever be etched in my memory.
Yes.
Speaking of memorable lines.
Oh, yeah.
The Princess Bride is practically a quote machine.
It's amazing how those lines have permeated pop culture.
They really have.
You hear them everywhere, and they never fail to get a laugh or a knowing nod.
It's true.
From inconceivable to as you wish.
Yes.
It's a testament to the film's witty and quotable dialogue.
I find myself quoting it all the time without even realizing it.
Me too.
But it's not just about the funny lines.
Right.
The film's score, composed by Mark Knopfler,
oh yes,
of Dire Straits fame, plays a huge role in setting the tone and atmosphere.
The music perfectly captures
It does.
that blend of whimsy, adventure, and romance that makes The Princess Bride so special.
Right.
And what's fascinating is that Knopfler was initially hesitant to take on the project.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Why was that?
Well, it took a bit of convincing from director Rob Reiner. He actually won Knopfler over with a reference to This Is Spinal Tap.
Oh, really?
His previous film.
That's funny.
It was a clever move
Yeah.
that ultimately led to one of the most iconic film scores of all time.
I love those behind-the-scenes stories.
They're so fun.
It's amazing how little details like that can influence the final product.
They can.
Speaking of details, you mentioned earlier that André the Giant couldn't lift Robin Wright during that window scene.
Oh, right.
That must have been a challenge for the filmmakers to work around.
They were incredibly resourceful.
Yeah.
Instead of rewriting the scene or resorting to awkward camera angles.
Yeah.
They simply used wires to make it appear as though he was effortlessly catching her.
Wow. That's ingenious.
It is.
It's a testament to their commitment to preserving the magic of the film.
Yes.
Even when faced with logistical hurdles.
For sure.
And that scene speaks to another aspect of The Princess Bride that makes it so appealing.
Okay.
The seamless blend of humor
and
genuine emotion.
You're absolutely right. It's a film that manages to walk that tightrope with incredible skill.
It does.
It can make you laugh out loud 1 minute and then have you completely invested in a character's emotional journey the next.
Right.
Think about that scene where Wesley is mostly dead.
Yes.
And Miracle Max is trying to revive him. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
With all the bickering and slapstick.
Yes.
But there's also a real sense of urgency and tension.
Right.
Because we, the audience, are so invested in Wesley's fate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're laughing, but we're also holding our breath.
Yes.
Hoping he'll pull through.
Right.
And that's part of the brilliance of the writing and direction.
Yeah.
The humor never undermines the emotional core of the story.
No, it doesn't.
Instead, it enhances it.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
And Rob Reiner, the director, deserves immense credit for pulling it off so flawlessly.
Right.
He had a clear vision for how to adapt William Goldman's novel to the screen, preserving both the wit and the heart of the story.
It's also a film that works on so many levels.
It does.
It's an adventure story, a romance, a comedy.
Yeah.
Even a bit of a satire on fairy tales. It's no wonder it appeals to such a broad audience.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
There's something in it for everyone.
Right.
It's a film that you can enjoy as a child, then revisit as an adult, and discover new layers of meaning.
Yes.
And appreciate its cleverness even more.
I know I did. I watched it countless times growing up.
Yeah.
And I still discover new details every time I watch it now.
It's that kind of film, isn't it? A film that stays with you and continues to reveal its secrets over time.
It truly is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm curious.
Yeah.
With all the amazing elements we've discussed, the characters, the humor, the action, the music, and the emotional depth, what do you think ultimately makes The Princess Bride such an enduring classic?
It's a great question.
It is.
I think it boils down to this.
Yeah.
The Princess Bride is a film that makes us feel good.
It does.
It reminds us of the power of laughter.
Yeah.
The importance of hope. And the enduring strength of true love.
Yes.
It's a story that celebrates the good guys winning.
Right.
True love conquering all.
Yep.
And the triumph of wit over brute force.
You know, you're right. It's a film that leaves you with a sense of warmth and a smile on your face.
Yeah.
And in a world that can often feel cynical and jaded, that's a precious gift.
It's a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there's always room for a little bit of magic.
Right.
A dash of humor. A whole lot of heart.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
But it's not just about escaping into a fairy tale world, is it?
No.
The Princess Bride also has something to say about the power of storytelling itself.
Absolutely. That framing device with the grandfather reading to his grandson
Yeah.
isn't just a charming narrative technique.
Right.
It's a reminder of the importance of passing down stories.
Yes.
Of connecting with each other.
Yeah?
Through shared experiences and imagination.
I like that.
And in today's world where we're often so isolated, so plugged into our devices, that message feels more relevant than ever.
That's a really interesting point. It's like the film is urging us to put down our phones, gather around, and rediscover the simple joy of sharing a story with someone we care about.
Precisely. And that message feels more relevant than ever in today's fast-paced digital world.
It does.
We're constantly bombarded with information.
Yeah.
But sometimes what we truly need is a good story to remind us of what really matters.
Yeah, and The Princess Bride just does that so brilliantly.
It does.
It manages to be both entertaining and thought-provoking, silly and profound all at the same time.
It really does.
It's like a gift that keeps on giving.
It is.
Each viewing reveals something new, a subtle joke you missed before.
Yeah.
A clever turn of phrase, or a deeper layer to a character's motivation.
It's true. It's one of those rare films that you can watch again and again, and it never gets old.
Right.
There's always something new to discover. And, it's interesting how the film manages to be both timeless and timely all at once.
Timeless, I get. The themes of love, courage, and the power of good versus evil.
Right.
Those are universal.
Right.
Resonate across cultures and generations.
Absolutely.
But in what way is it timely?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
The film is essentially about the power of storytelling itself.
Well,
that framing device with the grandfather reading to his grandson.
Yes.
Isn't just a charming narrative technique.
Right.
It's a reminder of the importance of passing down stories.
Yeah.
Of connecting with each other.
Yeah.
Through shared experiences and imagination. And in today's world where we're often so isolated, so plugged into our devices, that message feels more relevant than ever.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah.
It's like the film is urging us to put down our phones, gather around, and rediscover that simple joy of sharing a story.
I love that.
With someone we care about.
Exactly. It's a reminder that those human connections, those shared moments of laughter, wonder, and emotion, those are what truly enrich our lives.
They do.
And The Princess Bride provides the perfect opportunity for that kind of connection.
It does.
It's a film that families can enjoy together, that friends can quote back and forth.
Yeah.
And that sparks conversation and shared memories.
It really is a film that brings people together.
It is.
And, I think that's part of the reason why it's achieved such cult classic status.
Yeah.
It's become more than just a movie.
It has.
It's a cultural phenomenon.
It is.
A shared experience that people bond over.
You're absolutely right. It's woven itself into the fabric of pop culture.
It has.
You see references to it everywhere.
Oh, for sure.
From memes and T-shirts to parodies and homages and other works.
It's everywhere.
It's become a part of our collective consciousness.
And the impact goes beyond just entertainment.
Oh, absolutely.
It's inspired countless creative works.
It has.
From fan fiction and artwork to musicals and even video games.
It's proof that a well-told story,
a
story that captures our imaginations and touches our hearts, can have a ripple effect that extends far beyond the screen.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this beloved film, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners walk away with?
I would say this. The Princess Bride is more than just a charming fairy tale.
Yes.
It's a celebration of storytelling. A reminder of the importance of human connection.
Yes.
And a testament to the enduring power of laughter, love, and a little bit of magic.
Yes.
It's a film that deserves to be cherished, shared, and revisited time and time again.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And I think I speak for both of us when I say, if you haven't seen The Princess Bride recently, or if you've never had the pleasure, do yourself a favor and watch it.
You won't regret it.
You won't regret it.
And who knows, you might even find yourself quoting Inigo Montoya or Miracle Max in your everyday conversations.
Because let's face it, life can be a bit like that fire swamp sometimes.
It can.
But thankfully, we have stories like The Princess Bride to remind us that there's always hope, always room for laughter.
Always.
And always the possibility of a happily ever after.